Good morning. I saw a very strange dream this morning. I mean, it wasn't so strange as it was something which I'd never had. Things that I often think about but not actually seen it. So I am there in some kind of a city, some kind of a place where I have some lowly responsibility, and then somehow I get into the good books of a great, researcher there, biological researcher, surgeon, something like that. And then I start working with her, and then different things happen. I've lost track of those, but then at some point I am promoted by her boss into being the point man at a research facility, which was like a very hush-hush facility where even senior researchers don't get to go. But since I was fairly experienced with this, with the work that this woman was doing, and she was not willing to go to this research facility, and therefore I had to sort of go there. I had the option of going there, so it was quite exciting. So I go to that place, and it's in mountains. It's a wonderful drive, and then I get there, and once I get there, there's a sort of old world, what shall I say, township there. The ones which you would have in large public sector undertakings, where you'll have quarters for all the workers there, and I mean middle class, upper middle class managers, so on and so forth. And then I'm working there, and then I gradually start suspecting that this is all some kind of a facade, that this is not reality. And I start not snooping around, but I start trying to figure the truth, and somehow I find a way of I don't actually see a drone on which I have control, but I'm able to figure out that through some way I'm able to rise up, or at least my vision rises up, and I'm able to see that whole township from above. And then I find that there is one building which I had never gone there, and none of the people that I used to speak there had gone there. But then when I'm sort of hovering on top of that, I look down and I find that it's only the outer shell there, and inside there is nothing. Inside there is just one flat plot inside. I can't see anything. It's just like when you leave a plot, what happens to it. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I try and understand it better. And then I figure out that it is actually a sort of an exit hole into a different world. And I'm like, so what the fuck? We are a sim. We are a simulation, that somebody has created that simulation. And now this whole research work that I'm working on, that whole thing has gone into a bit of a tailspin, and whatever experiment we were doing, that seems to be something like creating some kind of tigers or whatever, I don't know, and one of them escaped and ate some people or whatever at the original place where I was working with that woman researcher. And then that goes into a chaos, and then the news reaches here. Some of the locals outside of the township, that they come inside and say that, look, this is a big problem and you guys are doing something and all. And then I find that all my superiors are gone and there's nobody, and then I'm the only guy who has got to handle everything. And then I try to tell them that, look, it's very much a mix of the allegory of Plato's cave and the West world and Matrix, and some of these sim games that I have seen my nephews play and all that. And from there, the only thing which I can think of is that I try to bring these people up to my level of understanding, and then I tell them that, look, you climb up on this building and you'll see, you'll find out the truth will sort of come to you. And then they all seem to go there and get frozen. So I also again go up there, and I find that what they've done is that they were able to locate some kind of a staircase from that non-existent top of that shell of a building, and from that they've gone even higher. And when they hit there, this is again, I don't remember the movie name, and in that the guy is put in a fake world, and there's a limit to it, but that is being shown as some kind of a sky or a horizon or something, and he breaks through it. And another place, a woman is put in such a situation, such a fake situation, where she breaks out of her confinement, which she thinks is some kind of a cyber confinement, but when she comes out, she finds that no, she's actually in a large shed, and she was actually put there in that place. Physically, it was not a cyber confinement. So I go up there, and I find that when you hit there, the ceiling sort of, the sky, the blueness of the sky, that becomes very unstable. So sometimes, splotches appear and you're sort of able to go out of that, and sometimes you stay there. And one of the guys who had reached there, he was completely frozen there, not able to work at all. And then I also reached there. I tried to push him back to the reality from which we were going to that hole. And suddenly it occurs to me that maybe this is not the only sin, that there are multiple sins. And then I'm not able to push him back, so I look on the other side, and I find that suddenly that either the other simulated world, either that or what I actually thought was that was the parent world, that was the world in which we were simulated. And that I find was that some kind of a British town, not a very nice town, but some kind of a town. And I'm thinking of sort of getting there, and then I see this guy turn back and see this guy still frozen in the sim. So I thought, look, this guy is going to stay frozen like in Westworld, an out of commission body or whatever you call that sort of stays frozen. So I go there to give him his life back, and then in the process this British town disappears, and those again sky splotches come again, and as I'm sort of pushing him back down in that world, we both get sucked in out from one of those splotches, and we fall in some kind of a wilderness, and that's some kind of a semi-arid land, and there was nothing there, and then we are on the ground, and I'm wondering where we are, and this guy's still frozen. That whole old sim world has disappeared, and suddenly we find a huge army, not an army, but some 20-50 people come in there, and they're all in Soviet style uniforms and talking Russian like things, and Brezhnev comes there. And he comes and he threatens me that, look, you got to do what we tell you, otherwise, you know what, and he points towards one of his boys, and he is in the process of opening the jacket that he's wearing, the big jacket that Russians or Soviet people used to wear, and inside I could see that he's got all these explosives strapped. So I go there and I said, big deal, man. Then he shows me a red button and sort of gestures to me that unless you do what we tell you, we're gonna sort of blow this up. And he shows me that. So I go there and pissed off, I say, big deal, man, I'll blow us all off. And I press that red button, because now I know that we are all in a sim, and there are probably multiple sims, and then boom, something blows, but then we are still there. So then this Brezhnev, or I think by this time he has turned into the Putin or somebody before Putin, I don't know, and then he smiles and says, "No, that's not the way out. You don't blow this world, but you blow that world, which bits and pieces of that world which you spent your lifetime living in and making friends, and their whole worlds are going to blow up." And I'm completely flabbergasted, because now I am fully at the mercy of this now Putin character. I don't know what to do, and then it dawns upon me that there are multiple sims, and sims within sims within sims. So it's nested reality, or not nested sims. So we have no clue what is the base sim. So then I turn back and address the architect of the whole thing, all the nested sims and all the parallel sims and everything. And I tell him, look, you created me given to emotions. You created me with a lot of love, and you do realize that I'm being pained because all that love, all that I used to love is blowing up, and that I do know that unless you valued love, you would not have created this world. So you do value love and compassion and emotion, and मैं तुमको उसका वास्ता देता हूँ. I am sort of taking you there, and I ask you to stop this nonsense. And then I sort of wake up, and that phase you have between sleep and wake. And then it occurs to me that probably in that world that I grew up in, that was actually like a poultry farm. And the poultry farmer, he's taking care of all these chickens, not because he loves them. And the chickens, I'm one of those chickens, and I think that the poultry farmer loves me, and he gives me all this food and all these medicines and cares about me. No, it's because he wants to eat me up, or wants to sell me to someone who wants to eat me up. And then a better thing occurs to me, We celebrate this Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Zuha or Bakri, whatever you call it. On that day, prior to that day, people get some goats and, kids, boys, take them around. Even grown men, they take pride in, oh, hamare paas to aisa bakra hai, and we've brought a goat of this kind and that kind, a he goat, ram or whatever you call that. And then, you are showing him around, you're taking him, he's your best friend, all these 12 to 14 year old boys, they take these goats around and they love them, and then suddenly one fine day you cut them and eat them. So that's what I am. I think that these guys who created me, who are taking care of me, are really harvesting me for something. And I woke up and kept wondering, is this world that we are in a real world, or is it one of those sims? I'm still thinking about it, and the details of the dream are disappearing. So I thought I'll just record it before that and share with you this feeling कि सब कुछ माया है. This world is probably not real. We are probably a simulation. And there are probably several simulations at this level of nested simulations, which we can possibly go from different exit holes into, or maybe we cannot. But maybe the architect or architects who have created this know that. But maybe those are also sims. Maybe there are parallel worlds on that level of simulation, and there are nested upon nested sims. Well, that's it. I have no clue where I am, but I got to get up and start my day. Because if I don't, maybe I'll end up like one of those frozen characters in my sim. But if I actually work, maybe I will get to break through one of those holes. And it might be in order to harvest me that the architect had created that whole simulated world. An odd way to provide motivation to myself to go through a new day. Bye-bye.